Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And today, like all Thursdays, I bring different practitioners. Today, I'm bringing someone back who was here before to talk about remote viewing. We're going to be talking about remote viewing today, and I'm so excited to have her here. We're going to be sharing some more exercises. I know that a lot of you were really excited when you discovered that you were able to actually do this for yourself. So today we're going to be doing a little bit more of that together. So if you didn't watch the video prior and this is your first time, no worries. We'll go over stuff again, and it's going to be really fun. And I'm so grateful to have Theon today. And then, but before I bring her in, I just kind of wanted to share with you that. Right now, the Cosmic Light Activation group is open, and I wanted to just kind of share here the names of the people who are already part of the Cosmic Light Activation. I just kind of wanted to invite you to join so that you can get monthly Akashic clearings and weekly oracle guidance. Just there's also some additional things that I'm planning to add to this, but this is a really great way to support this channel. But of course, subscribing and liking this video and sharing this video, absolutely, this also supports, because I'm trying to get to the point where I can become a YouTube partner. And so your support really means a lot to me, because it helps, right? Getting the channel where it needs to be, so I can continue doing these free videos and all the different activities that I want to incorporate here. And so if you want to sign up for the Cosmic Light Activation and you really feel connected to the idea of getting, just practicing energy hygiene every month, with the weekly oracle guidance, we have a really beautiful platform where it's our own portal where you can go in and listen to the readings that I do for the collective. And then you also will have access to all of the replays from all of the clearings that we've done in the past. So not only will you be able to access, from now on, everything, but you'll have access to the stuff from before, so you can take advantage of that. It's funny because I had someone recently join and she was like, I've been trying to listen to everything because it's been just so helpful. So definitely, take advantage of that. I'm just so excited to have that. So I see some people here. I just kind of wanted to acknowledge who are here. Tainita, Amy, hi, welcome everyone. So happy. So let me know in the comments, where are you tuning in from? I'd like to know where you're tuning in from, so I know where in the world are all the people that are watching right now. I know I'm located in Tampa, Florida, and so yeah. Hi, Jan. I'm so happy that you're here. And so please let us know in the comments, where are you tuning in from, so that way we know, and where are we connected with. So again, subscribe, of course, and share and like this video if you feel like this video is helpful, which I know it will be, because I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. So we have someone here who is she is the founder of Evolve Me, and she actually has some groups for remote viewing, and we're going to be basically, you're going to be experiencing some of the things that she does with remote viewing together. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her in. Hi.
Hello.
How are you? I'm so happy, so happy that you're here.
Me too. I love being on your show, and I love talking to you. So this is perfect.
It's a perfect combo. I love talking to you too. And and oh my gosh, like that video, like, actually I wanted to tell you this, but I didn't get the chance, but it was probably one of the best views that I've gotten on this channel, on live streams. Like, people loved this video so much, that video so much. And I think part of it is because it was that empowering, empowerment that you share with everyone. And well, basically the reason why you created Evolve Me in the first place. And so I just kind of wanted to just thank you for that, and coming back and sharing. And I'm so excited. Everyone's going to be learning a little bit with you today. And so we have some people here. So some people coming from Australia, from South Carolina, from South Africa. We got people from Tampa. Hi, T-Bill. So happy you're here. We got some people from Baltimore. So we have people from all over the world.
Yay.
Today. That's so
So
exciting.
excited. Yes. Oh, yeah. And I will say, a big reason why I started doing remote viewing is that empowerment factor. You're getting real time information. So it's great. I do it with my kids. I do it with, for everything. So it's definitely something, a great tool, whether you are really into, your intuitive abilities or not, you can really practice with this. So it's great.
Yeah. So, and then just for the, I know that you've done this before, but just for those who are tuning in for the first time, can you tell us a little bit about you and, and what you do?
Absolutely. So I am, let's say, and I think I said this last time, I'm like the Swiss Army of the Swiss Army knife of intuitive. So I love just about everything in intuitive development. So I'm a medium, a remote viewer, a yeah, I can't even think of all the things I do. Yeah, and lately I've been really excited about doing psychic detective work. I've been actually doing it a lot for various peoples around the Evolve Me community, and it's been amazing to help find missing people and solve crimes and or help solve crimes. We don't necessarily solve them ourselves, but we aid in doing that for law enforcement, things like that. But yeah, I've been a medium all of my life, and I, really started to develop more later in life because of my Catholic upbringing.
Mhm.
So it took me a while to really wrap my brain around what I do, and so which is good because it makes me a natural skeptic. So I'm always very discerning, which is why I went into remote viewing, because
Mhm.
you're getting real time information, facts about specific sites, people, objects, things like that. So it really, I don't know, you can utilize it in just about everything. I use it in my mediumship. I use it, within a lot of my services that I offer, things like that. But yeah, I just have a genuine love for intuitive abilities. I feel that it is an evolution of oneself, and I believe the evolution of just us as humans. So I'm a huge advocate for empowering other people to know that they are also, everybody has this ability. I'm no different or special than anyone else. I'm just one of those people that just likes to play in everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. And one thing that I really love about you, Theon, is the fact that you have this really beautiful, compassionate way to see, the world and people. And not only are you, not only that part, but also that in combination with empowerment is just it's such a beautiful like power combination, because people can feel comfortable with you. They feel encouraged by you. I know I have. And so I'm speaking for myself, and I'm pretty sure that other people feel the same way, is that you have this beautiful ability to bring out the gifts that people already have within them. And that is truly a gift, and a gift of a and a mark of a teacher. And so I just kind of wanted just to share for those of you who are watching here, if you're interested in doing any work with Theon. And she created the Evolve Me platform to really help you recognize your intuitive power. And after we did our session last time, she was inspired to create the circle, right? The for people to develop their gifts with remote viewing. And so I just kind of wanted to just share, if you are interested, just sign up for evolveme.com and, and get in touch with her there. And she has already, I think it's already up, right? The
Yes.
circle and the dates and everything there. So you should definitely consider doing that. So, but don't go yet, because do it after you watch this, right? In the meantime, stay here so that you can receive some of that magic today. So I just kind of wanted just to say that, just because I felt so inspired. And I love what you said about, I love what you said about the fact that this is helping you with other parts. Like, even if someone is doing other work, like maybe other healing work, this can potentially help people expand,
Absolutely.
right, their capacity into
Yeah.
into getting more, I guess, more granular information, right, on what's
Absolutely.
happening.
Yeah, I've utilized it in even my past life readings. I've done it in medical, or I don't like to say medical. It's more health intuitive readings. Doing body scans and things like that. Um, it it helps you. Let's say you're an architect. It helps you in that way, in the sense that you can sort of visualize, a blueprint, and then see it just right in front of you, like things like that. Like I say this because I talk about my husband, who's a technology and securities guy, and he's like, well, I don't know if I'm really into this. I'm like, okay. So I've helped him several times on major issues that he's had, that he had been stuck on for like weeks sometimes, and now he sees it's useful.
He's
I'm
like,
like,
okay, this is useful now.
and I'm like, you could do this. And the thing about me is I genuinely love people, and how I've always been shy all of my life. So I've been a people watcher, and it gave me such great compassion for for helping people to develop, because you know um, remote viewing for me also helps people that may or may not believe that they are intuitive, to realize how easily we pick these things up. I mean, last time we had people that self-described non-intuitives were getting some amazing information, and just out of that one session. So it's I don't know. It's opened me up to a whole new world of possibilities for what we can do for people. So, yeah.
Mm. So I kind of wanted to ask about, so, of course, I've experienced it a couple of times with you, but what would be the tips that you would recommend for someone who's maybe starting out, like first time ever? Like, what are there any tips that you wish somebody would have told you before you dove into remote viewing?
Oh my gosh. How like broad it is. There's so many different types of remote viewing that you can get confused, and it is in a lot of sense technical. There is like a technical aspect that I almost did not want to get past.
Mm,
And especially if you are already like a working medium or intuitive, um, you may have a hard time in the beginning, because you are using your left and right brain. So you are using your intuitive ability as well as your analytical side. So that really tripped me up. So don't let that trip you up. Um, the the most important thing to do is to remember that just ease into it, and whatever information you receive, whether it seems abstract or anything, write it down. The forgiving part of remote viewing is that you have two sides on your page, and Jikara knows what I'm talking about. One side is for the adjectives, let's say, descriptor words. And the other side is what we call the AOLs, your analytic overlay. And so what that is like, let's say I'm let's doing an object, like I'm trying to view an object, and I'm trying the important part to know is that you're just describing the visuals that you're seeing. You are not naming them specifically. So that would be an AOL or a noun. I find that when I when I see something, and like last time, I think I described a cell phone. Let's say I see a cell phone, and I see like the screen and everything. I don't want to say cell phone, because it may very well not be a cell phone, because my mind, and all of us are the same, our mind tends to want to go to the thing that we know. It wants to feel comfortable with what it's seeing. So a lot of times it doesn't tell you the truth. It gives you it gives you the wrong information on what you're used to. So what I see as a cell phone could very well be some sort of technology that I've never seen before. And so the important part is to break it down. So I see a screen, and sometimes as I'm breaking it down, I will notice that it isn't a cell phone. I'll notice that it is different. And so yeah, it's really just learning how to not want to go right for whatever you think that is. Break it down enough to where you're certain that it is. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And you know what? And it is true, because that, like, the experience that I've gotten is that I guess the mind wants to tell you what it is through what you know, in a way. Like it
Yeah.
like it'll give you the image of what you know, because you don't know, right? So that's going to give you something that you do know, so that you can get the descriptors. It's incredible. It really is incredible the way it works. And
Oh, yeah.
so, okay, so that's beautiful. Thank you for that. And I wanted to ask you too, in regards to remote viewing. Is this something that, I know that this came up before in relationship to, people being scared of, the remote viewing and all that. Is this something that that people, should be concerned about their privacy or anything of that nature? Because I know this came up before.
Absolutely. What I always say is that just in general, intuitives and anyone for that matter, hopefully live by a code of ethics, where we wouldn't peek into somebody's house, unless they wanted us, they invited us in, right? So it goes with the same. There is a code of ethics that all of us intuitives, basically live by, and it's the same in remote viewing. We spoke about last time. I am so sorry, my battery's low. Let me just turn
Yeah,
plug it in. Hold on one second.
no worries. In the meantime, while she plugs in her battery, let me know in the comments if you have any questions for Theon. Maybe if you were here last time and you didn't get to ask a question, or maybe you have a new question that is coming up, or maybe this is your first time watching this and you have questions. Let us know in the comments, so that way we can get those answered for you. That's what Theon is here for, is to answer as many questions as you have about remote viewing. All
Absolutely.
right, so welcome back.
Yay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay. So let's say we were just talking about the I guess the ethics on it.
The ethics, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that most remote viewers, and most people, I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but most remote viewers are serious viewers. They do things like what I do, is do psychic detective work, or help people find missing missing people, missing pets, things like that. But I haven't seen any instances in my world of people using it for nefarious reasons. Of course, the CIA did develop it as a way to spy on other countries. So, but I so I I definitely wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, and you think about this, you know, spirits and, you know, spirits and things like that are always all around us. They're and I always used to think, especially because I had been a medium all of my life, I can't even take a shower and feel alone. It's definitely something that you have to wrap your brain around, but especially with specifically to remote viewing, people don't just want to come and invade your space. There is that ethics part, as well as really karma. People really, you know, when you do things like that, it definitely doesn't bode well for your karma. So
Yeah.
if you believe in karma,
Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly. Yeah, thank you for answering that, because I know that last time that we were, having that conversation, someone was
Yeah.
concerned about that, and I feel it was important for us to kind of bring it up again and just, ease into that. And then, of course, Vanita saying that the government, when they used that, it was not necessarily using the code of ethics. And yes, we know that, like that's definitely not. But when we're learning it, right? Like, what is your intention behind it? And I feel like that's important, right? Like, what is your intention behind it? What is your, what are you going to use it for, right? Like, is it
Right.
useful for you because you want to use it for your own work, if you are someone who does intuitive work, or maybe useful for you, just like your husband, right? Like, maybe for like solving problems, or finding keys, or things of that nature. Like, it could be something as simple as that, and you can use it for that nature. So Amy was actually asking a question. She was wanting to ask. She would like to know if you have any tips for teaching your kids safely remote viewing. That's a really good question.
Oh, absolutely. Well, if you've heard me before, I do have a son that is uber intuitive. I always say even more so than myself. I mean, he was just amazing. But really, just teaching them, it's more like teaching them life skills. You know, I see the practical side in intuitive development, and its usefulness. Just like you would teach your children, you know, not to barge into somebody's house. You're teaching them, you know, you're teaching them, you know, sort of in that same respect level, but also, you know, helping them, uh, you know, develop, especially let's say that they're a little younger. You start off with like small exercises. You know, I have something in my room. What am I, I have something in my room. I want you to see it's, you know, sitting there on my chair or something like that. And then you ask them whatever impressions come up. It doesn't matter. You know, once you ease somebody into it, and especially a child, to say, you know, give them that permission to just be who they are or open up to it. It's so much easier sometimes with kids, right? Because they're like, okay, sure. You know, everybody else, we have all this conditioning. We're like, well, what is she trying to say? But no, it was very helpful just to encourage them exploring. So it's like, you know, you'll just say, okay, so what do you think that it is? And give me a color, or, you know, just, you know, you want to guide them, but not too much, because then you're going to give them the information. But yeah, it's fun little practices. For me, I also was a preschool teacher, so I have to have fun with everything that I teach. So it's like, you know, I love to do exercises that, one, challenge, and two, excite. So if they're excited about it, then you're going to get a very eager learner. So no matter how you sort of guide your child, um, I think using those two things is the most important. But yeah, start off small with, you know, different objects, or, you know, hide one of their favorite toys or something like that, and not in a mean way, but just say, you know, okay, we're going to play hide and go seek. It's just like hide and go seek, right? You know, where is your bear? and, pretend like you're looking at the house and you're scanning the house. And let's say that your bear glows. So look for the glowing bear in the house, and I'll tell you, they'll more than likely get it.
Wow, that's incredible. I
Yeah.
love that idea. And so Amy, she's saying that her 9-year-old daughter is incredibly intuitive. And she says that her daughter says that she gets messages from the clouds. That's how she describes it. That's so cute.
I love it. Oh my
That's
gosh,
so
it's
adorable. I
beautiful. I
love
love
that.
it.
But yeah, and I think also intentions, right? And Vanita was mentioning intention, boundaries, and our own protection. And I think also protection too. Maybe we should talk about that for a sec about protection.
Absolutely.
So what's your thought process behind protection?
Oh my gosh, it's protections. I absolutely am a huge advocate for protections. I Every day in meditation, every morning I protect my space, and and I check in with it throughout the day. If I'm doing various readings, I make sure in between that I'm protected, but also within that reading space. Let's say I'm reading somebody that is may not do that. I go ahead and um, offer offer them protections as well, and create a reading space that is also protected. See, that's why I mean protected. Um, but yes, it's always important. And when you are, let's say, if you haven't ever, you know, done protections around yourself. It's really just a strong intention that's set, right? So you are setting an intention, and that your space is going to be clear and protected. For me, I always call on Archangel Michael, who is one of my strongest guides since I was a little girl. And I call on him to help me guard and protect my space, though I build it because it's my intention that needs to be set. So, and I ask my protections to be strong and powerful, protecting my eternal and physical being, and that is deflective of all that does not serve me. And I trust it. And it's always served me well. So it is about intention and trust for sure. But we're extremely powerful beings. I just created energy by saying that, and as we know, energy is never destroyed, and so neither would your protections be. So unless you have lowered them or cleared them yourself, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely, in any interaction, I believe that we should always, every day, put a layer of protection around ourselves, because we soak in other people's energy. Right now, Jikara and I are exchanging energy. We're exchanging energy with the audience. So, in this space. And what I love about Jikara is that she understands that. And I sometimes, when I'm having like a really busy time, or I'm confused or having a hard time, she always seems to know that I need like that extra, that extra meditation. She calms my space, and even just in talking to her, she's just a calming presence. I'm sure you all know. And so when we're busy with not really thinking about our own space, you notice how much stuff creeps in. So you're right. It's crazy. And so I like to make sure, because sometimes we allow things into our space, and we don't necessarily know it. So let's say I put a layer of protection around myself, and then I go to the grocery store and I talk to this person and that person and all of these people. I've allowed them into my space, and that's okay. You can interact with people and allow them, but clear them out when you're done. You just have to set that intention. As soon as you get in the car, okay, just let imagine a waterfall of, clear energy is coming through your space and cleaning out everybody else's energy. And that seems to, really just, again, with that intention, we definitely, our bodies, our psyche, everything responds to it. So yeah, definitely. It's funny is there is the old spiritualist movement, they didn't believe in protections, and that's something I can't wrap my brain around. That they believe that like everything should go into your space. I'm like, oh, I would hate to see what's in there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Because we're
that
always
sounds,
collecting. Yeah.
yeah, that sounds really I don't know if I could handle that. I don't know. I would be very, very worried about that. Um honestly. So wow. Yeah, I've never really understood that. And and I think it's important to also remember that protection is not about rejecting, or it's about really just having a healthy boundary for ourselves, right? And I personally feel that sometimes, even when we are practicing, things like remote viewing or anything else, right, mediumship, anything else, when we're practicing into all of these different ways of connecting to into these unknowns, right? Because that's really what we're going into, unknowns. I feel it's important that we practice energetic hygiene. Like you want to practice energetic hygiene for yourself so that you can feel clear and be able to receive. And then and part of that energetic hygiene is the protection, right? Like creating that space. And then some people are talking about Archangel Michael here. Sandra is saying she loves Archangel Michael, and she loves all the angels, but Archangel Michael is her favorite. Yeah, because Archangel Michael protects us and helps us with all of that. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So do you recommend that, protection before practicing remote
Oh,
viewing?
absolutely, absolutely. Especially when you're projecting yourself to a location, or specifically if you're doing psychic detective work, you
Mm,
to the energy of not just the victim, which can be really, uh, you know, upsetting to have to see somebody go through something, and also the energy of the perpetrator. So that energy is strong, and sometimes it's so overwhelming. I will have to stop in the middle of a session and then go and do a full clearing, because
wow.
because it is really important, because I am allowing him into my space for that moment. And so you really want to set the intention right when you are, let's say, remote viewing. Now, my intention is to only view the location. I do not want to take on any energy. You can say those things. There's no reason for you not to feel that you can cover all your bases, right? And so my intention is to just be an observer, be a fly on the wall within this situation, location, or whatever. And once your intention is set, then you're okay. And then always just make sure at the end to clear out anything that you had allowed in, or anything that's in your space that shouldn't be there, and you should be good.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you for that recommendation. I think it's very helpful. I mean, not only for remote viewing, but just in general, especially if you're interacting with people, maybe if you're working with people, right? Just it doesn't have to be any sort of psychic work, but just I mean, in a way, I feel personally, and this is you tell me what you think. I feel like we're always connecting energetically to other people anyway. Like we're always in that psychic, energetic connection anyway. So it's like it just makes sense, especially if maybe you're working with clients, you work at a bank and you're talking to people all day, or as a teller or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you could potentially use this. It doesn't have to only be when you go and remote view. But
Right.
but these are
Yeah.
amazing suggestions. Thank you for that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and just think about, for those that don't believe, don't feel that they are intuitive or empaths. We're all empathic, and we don't realize it. But you just think about when you have a negative interaction with somebody and how that feels. You can actually feel it, like, or somebody did something that really frustrated you. You're soaking in that energy. If you're thinking about somebody, you're interacting with their energy. So
Yes.
and so you have to, just because you weren't face to face with them doesn't mean that you aren't soaking in their energy. If you're, thinking about them, or, anything like that, or just on the phone with them, you're definitely soaking in that energy.
So there's some questions coming through. I love my audience, because y'all are amazing. You always have some amazing questions, and you keep the conversation going. And I'm just so grateful for all of you. Just wanted to say that for a minute. So Arlene, hi, welcome. I saw you that you came in. So she has a question. What are ways to clear from being in high traffic, multiple use areas, such as like hospitals? We've been also being told that sometimes the building can be very active, and I'm assuming that you're talking about, Arlene, maybe a lot of energy on that building. So what would you recommend for someone who works in that type of high traffic area?
Well, definitely strong protections, clearing your space multiple times during the day, leaving the location, like going outside for just 5 minutes. You could just go outside 5 minutes, clear your space, go back in, and just as often as you can. And I know I understand that whole dynamic with hospitals are
Yeah.
extremely, I mean, the walls have extreme energy. So it is important to take that like 5 minutes, every so often, maybe every a couple of hours, just to clear your space, and focus on your own. But I always like your own bubble, your aura, and this is your space. Everything else is out. And just check in with it, because sometimes we get lost in the day. There's so much going on at a hospital, or a high traffic area, and you kind of get lost in whatever's going on. But when you bring yourself back, when you call back your own energy, and I always do that in meditation, like call back your energy from all, wherever it's been throughout the day, because we not just soak in energy, we also release our own everywhere.
Yeah.
We're all just a mess. We're just throwing things everywhere. But so you just want to call your own energy back and let it fill into your space, so there's nothing else that can come in.
Yeah, I
So
love
yeah.
that. I love that. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, I love that we're having this conversation, because we were talking about this a little while ago in one of our conversations that evolved me. We're talking about protection, and I don't think we really talk about it enough.
I know.
So it's great that we're exploring this, and at least seeing ways, right? Like talking about different ways, and everyone has so many amazing ways that they use to apply protection to themselves. So I love it. I love that we're sharing this. And then so Vanita, let me tell you, she has a really interesting question. So I'm gonna put it up here. She's saying, are there any overlaps with remote viewing and evidential mediumship? That's a very good question.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Is she a medium? I'm probably, yeah. What's really funny, and how do you say your name? Vanita.
Vanita.
Love that name. So yeah, when I first started studying this, uh it I found that it is hard to be a medium and do remote viewing, and it's
Wow.
insane. Yeah, and I will say this, because let's say you are speaking to somebody that had passed, due to a tragic event that you're trying to remote view, right? Um, your first instinct as a medium will be to talk to that person, ask them questions. What happened to you? And are you alive? Or like, let's say they're missing. Are you alive, or have you passed? a lot of times they're going to tell you, no, I'm alive, because sometimes they don't necessarily know. And I found several times I've been, I was told that they were still alive and their energy was really strong, but that was just because their spirit was very strong. So yeah, that I would say is a bit of a difficult situation. But I think your question is a little different, though. You're saying, are there overlaps in remote viewing? Yeah, I mean, you are in a sense getting evidential information, and depending on how you receive it. So evidential mediumship, you're receiving this information from, the spirit of somebody that had passed, or someone, or their spirit guides, things like that. So I guess in a way, remote viewing, you can utilize, people that have passed, like I was saying, for specific questions, but it's really more of a your own spirit and your own higher guidance coming through. So I will project myself to a location or a person a lot of the time. So there is some overlap, and they do kind of mix sometimes. But for the most part, remote viewing is more of you utilizing your higher self, your higher guidance.
I love that. And so Vanita's saying that she's not a medium, but she's just a very curious creature. She's kind of wanted to let you know, because you were asking if she was a medium. So I just kind of wanted to let you know that she answered that. And she's mentioning how interesting, my right ear is clicking as you're answering the question. I mean, incredible.
So maybe you are a medium.
Maybe you are. You didn't know about it. But that's what Evolve Me is here for you, right? So that you can discover these things. And so I kind of wanted to also just say, in relationship to the remote viewing and mediumship, I think there's also, I guess, like the acts, like the way you access information, it's fundamentally different, right? Because remote viewing is very structured.
Yes.
Right. Compared to mediumship. I mean, I'm sure people create their own structure with mediumship. I'm pretty sure that's a process. But I guess with remote viewing, it has like one one pathway, right? That that's like I guess overarching everyone, right? Like it's just like one I guess technique in a way.
Right. Yeah.
And so
yeah,
I just want to share that, because I think that was also another difference between both.
Oh, absolutely. And with remote viewing, it is, again, you're using that left and right brain, and in mediumship, you're allowing the information to go through and or to come through. And in a sense, you are still doing that in remote viewing, but you're also looking for evidence, and you're looking for certain things. So that analytical side does come through, which is what you have to kind of balance, and which is very hard for people that are mediums, that are just used to just sometimes not even being there when they're receiving the messages, like if you're in trance, right?
Yeah. But stepping back and allowing the message to come through in that way.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and there's so many different things. There's so many different types of remote viewing and aspects, because I can't. There's even one called Hawaiian remote viewing. I'll be honest, I don't even know what that is. I will find out one day. But there's associative remote viewing. There is a controlled remote viewing, which is what I've been showing everybody. All of these different types of remote viewing all have some, little sort of twist. There's one that you can receive information through movement. Like,
oh, wow.
it's It really is. I mean, but these are really just techniques in order for you to get this information. So, you know, that's why for me, I have ADHD, so I like to get things quick, and otherwise I'm bored and I've left. But but no, I'm kidding. But I definitely like to you know, especially I'm a big stage 1, stage 2, because there's different stages in remote viewing, kind of person, where I get most of my information in the beginning, and I, you know, and then I go from there. But you know, I like to do, I like to start people off in the first 2 stages, so that they see how fun it is, and you'll get like factual information, you know, through this. And then once you get sort of more involved, and want to learn more, then we move on to the other stages, because I think for a lot of us, just getting the information and figuring out how we're getting that information is key in the beginning, you know, because there's so many different ways. I still test out different ways in order to connect. I've done like, I call them dream targets, where I have right before I go to bed, I set a target, like I'm looking to remote view something, and I will set an intention to remote view in my dream and get all the information, and it works. It you know, I will set that strong intention that I will receive the information that I'm looking for in my last dream of the night, and I will remember it fully, and I will write it down. And every time I wake up and then I write it down. and it's fun. Like I told you, I like to play around, but yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to, I guess, get to the same, you know, to the same answer.
Yeah, I love that.
Both. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that so much. And okay, about that, do you feel tired afterwards though? Or you're like, do you like wake up okay? Like after doing all that remote viewing?
Oh no,
I'm curious.
You know, it's weird. Well, ADHD. So, no, I actually get really excited, because I'm, you know, I love to, you know, I'm very conscientious person. I'm like, get excited if I help somebody, or if I got the answer, and you know,
that.
so I think that is why I'm not like exhausted.
Okay, I love that so much. Yeah, I was just curious, because I mean that is work during your sleep. So, but you know, maybe setting an intention to make sure that you get rest as like you get the rest, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's why it's in the last dream, because like the other parts of the hour. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes so much sense. And then also that you'll be able to remember it, right? Because like, you know, like if it's like lost in the sauce, like
I'll never get it.
Yeah, you'll be like, I remember this, but then suddenly I went to this other place, you know.
Yeah, it's like,
and then it's like a mess.
Out with a goat, and yeah, so
You're like visiting. I mean, I know I've had clients that actually have had they visit other lifetimes in their dreams, and then they're exhausted. But a lot of times it's just because, you know, stuff is happening, and they're clearing energies and stuff, and so that sometimes happens. That's why I was asking you that question. I was like, are you tired afterwards? Like, let me know, because that's interesting. But yeah, that's good to know, because actually I want to try it. I want to try that. I actually want to personally try that, so that sounds amazing.
Yeah, maybe we'll try that on our group days.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Like we can come back and be like, I dreamt this, and you know, we can all get all excited. Okay, so there's some questions coming. We got questions. I'm telling you, we got questions. So
they're like, what's wrong with that lady? No, I'm just kidding.
No, not at all. So Real Truth. Hi, Real Truth. So she says that she has a good imagination, and she thinks that it gets in the way of remote viewing for her. She keeps imagining things instead of remote viewing. What would you say to that?
Well, so your intuitive ability lives in the same section of your brain as your imagination. So it is difficult to discern what is truth and what isn't. But I'd have to understand a little bit more about who you are, and are these actual are you actually imagining things, or are they other intuitive hits on something else? Because often our mind wanders, but not too far from what your intention originally was. So let's say, I'll give you an example. I was doing a remote viewing for a live case for my instructor that she was working on, a couple of us. And as soon as I started the session, I always hear things too in the beginning. And I heard Mary Ellen. And I was like, there was no way that there was a Mary Ellen involved in whatever this was. I just knew it. And I was like, but it kept coming up. And I was like, okay, Mary Ellen. And I wrote that as an AOL, right? And then I was new in the class, so I didn't know everybody. And so we were in class, and we were all we were getting feedback for each of our sessions. And there was a Mary Ellen in there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Her session wrote that she thinks that one of the perpetrators was either a Thea or Theon. And I was like, what? I was like, I hope not, because and I have a name that I've never heard it on another human being before. And so we both sort of connected with each other. I got Mary Ellen and she got Theon. So I sometimes you can pull other information, but I will say it was relevant to my session. It wasn't necessarily relevant to the case, but do you see how we pull other information out while we're our intention is? So that was always a hard one for me, is that as something can be something can in a sense be related, but it could have really no bearing on what your actual question was, right? So if I were you, I'd write down what you are imagining as well, and later on see if it fits. But what I do to stop that as best as I could is, when I'm setting out my intention to view something, I will only receive, and this is what I say, I will only receive the divine truth of XYZ, of this. And so I'm hyper focusing on just that answer. All other outside information cannot come in, just like you're protecting your question.
Oh, yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like an extra layer of protection.
Yeah. Exactly. More protection.
Yeah,
No, but yeah.
well, I don't want to say against our imagination, but from extra imagination.
Yes. Yeah. And just, yeah, it's just so that you can pinpoint whatever specifics that you're trying to get. Like, again, everything is about intention. Our minds are so powerful that we don't realize that, we can train our subconscious brain just by the things that we do and say each day. That's how I do remote viewing in my dreams, is I literally call out, and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm telling my subconscious mind that this is where what I want to do. And your subconscious mind will listen. So when, don't worry about the imagining. That's done now, right? So you are not going to imagine. You are only going to get this information.
So at least when you know that the imagination is active, you know that it is actively you're receiving the information through your imagination that is related to that target. Yeah, that makes so much sense. I love that. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I love the questions that are coming through, because I feel like it's helpful, right? Like maybe someone else has this question too, and they're wondering, and then you get to answer. So thank you for asking the question. Real
Absolutely.
Truth. And Amy is saying, if you struggle to trust your intuition, can remote viewing help with building confidence?
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
a very good question.
Yes, excellent question. And absolutely. Because, listen, I'm a natural skeptic, as I told you, and that really helped me build the trust in what I'm doing. And, the great thing about remote viewing is that you're getting factual information quickly. And so it's funny is that after a while, it's not even about trusting it. It's then about, okay, refining it, right? So
Mm,
as you continue on, you're going to notice little things like now I have symbols that come up for certain things. So I'm like, oh, so that's now my symbol for this, and so that's really a good place to start is to build the trust first and then start refining. So yeah, you're you will get there. Just allow yourself to see those possibilities, and don't down yourself if you didn't get the exact thing that it was. What's important is, let's say if when I do the exercise, I show you something and you don't necessarily completely get it, but you get very, and you will, you're going to see it. You will get very strong aspects of this thing that I'm going to show. And, just understand that typically your brain won't necessarily go there at first. So don't try to get the answer, just try to get the clues, right? Yeah.
I love that. I'm so excited. We're gonna have an exercise, y'all. So you better get prepared and get your paper and your pen, or whatever choice you have to write with, and so that you can practice today. We're going to do a small practice, and I kind of wanted to just also just take a moment for those of you who are here, and you're just tuning in. We are talking about remote viewing, and Theon is the founder of Evolve Me, and you can connect with her there. She has one of the reasons why I wanted her to come back was because she right now has opened a group, so that you can join and practice with her. So you can go into evolveme.com and sign up for that. And then also kind of want to just take a moment, just share like this video if you feel like this is something that is helping you, and share. This is goodness that that she's sharing with us today, and I'm so grateful for her. And so, okay, so I wanted to mention Vanita's asking, so in relationship to that, what happened between you and that lady, right? When you were going back to when we were talking, you were talking about how you were getting Mary Ellen, and then she was getting down. She was asking, like, would that be considered telepathy?
Um, um, Maybe, well, I actually, I think it's more of a precognition, right? So we both anticipated, or it could be, actually, we may have even done our sessions at the same time, and therefore, just in that, yeah. Could be. I know that with one of my dearest friends, we used to practice a lot. Now we don't really have to do a lot of telepathy, and I would say, yeah, maybe. I didn't really think about it. I just thought, my gosh, she ruined my session. No, it was funny. It was actually funny, but yeah, in a sense, yeah, there, her and I were both thinking about each other, obviously, at that time. So, which was interesting because I didn't even know she existed, and vice versa. So
Yeah, you didn't know each other's names, right? Like you didn't
no,
even. Yeah, that's incredible. So like you were meant to connect.
yeah,
That's so beautiful. And so yeah, so Tainita is just mentioning that she would love to try this concept, that she is an overthinker, and sometimes
yeah.
wonders what if that over affects her ability to trust her intuitive side. And so, Peggy's saying that she's excited to try it. Vanita's loving this conversation. Cece's here. Hi, Cece.
Hi,
And Real
Cece.
Truth is asking about the circle. At what times are you hosting the circles at Evolve Me? And what days?
It's It's on, the first session starts on the 19th of this month. And we are doing it, I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern, and it lasts about 2 hours. And I'm going to do it every other week. So yeah, and we start off with the basics on remote viewing, and then of course, again, my ADHD, I have to get right into doing fun activities. Because otherwise I'll just walk away and I won't remember what I'm doing. No. But yeah, and it's a lot of fun, and it's each week I will give something to practice with too. I'll do like a target for the following week, so everybody will do sessions and then submit them. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that there's information again for those of you who want to participate in the circles and the remote viewing circles. You'll go to evolveme.com, and that's where you will sign up for the circles. You can look up for Theon, and I'm sure it's going to be there on the main screen. You'll be able to find it, and or you can just search for her, and then it's going to be under her profile, because there's going to be different practitioners there. So it's going to be under her profile, right, as a practitioner. And so yeah, I look forward to hearing all about your experience with her as you connect deeper into your intuition. Okay, so are y'all ready? I know it's already 1:02. We want to make sure that we had some such. I mean, we lose time. Well, we don't lose time. We just go into these portals of conversation, and we can just continue talking. But I guess we're gonna get down to business now, and do so you tell me what do you need me to do something with the picture?
Well, I don't want you to look at it because I want you to try.
Okay. I already did. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
so sorry.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you for I'll give you another one after we hang up, and then you can just tell me tomorrow. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to, so what I do is I will give you a number. It's called a target number. And everybody is going to focus on that target number. And what I like to do is I like to connect with it. So I'll visualize that number standing straight out in front of me. And then sometimes I actually just go into that number, and then whatever impressions, no matter how strange, how abstract it may feel, write it down. But remember, on the left side of the page, you want to put all the adjectives, right? All of the things, the descriptor words like small, circular, all of those like different adjectives. And then on the other side, the right side, you want to put your AOLs, which is your analytic overlay. Your nouns, like that's a cell phone, that's a water bottle, blah, 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 because you don't want to actually name anything. So we're just going to connect, and just whatever impressions come in. You could even sketch. If you see something, just sketch it, sketch the shape, because a lot of times you'll just see a shape and a flash image. Do whatever you can just to describe. And if you get more information, again, you could put it on the AOL side. So don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to look at the image real quick because you're going to set your intention to only view the image that Theon is giving me. And so I'm going to telepathically give you all this image. Let me see. And then I'm going to just make up a number. Because the number that I associate with it is going to be the number that, that you guys are going to connect with. So I'm going to look at it. Okay. And then it's number 6254. So number 6254 is the target number. And now you could write it at the top of your page, touch it. Imagine that you're going, and it's a location. So you're going to view a location and the target number that the target number is associated with. And I will give everyone, how does 10 minutes? Is that good?
Sounds good.
All right. I'll give everyone 10 minutes, and okay, you can begin. And then do you want me to take my camera off so that I can be quiet for everyone?
Yeah, sure. It's all good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, just 2 more minutes, and then we'll find out what everybody has. Okay, I'm back. So hopefully, if you've all got your sessions together, feel free to maybe put it in the chat and we can talk about it.
I'm sad I couldn't do it because I saw the picture, but
I know. Well, I have another good one I was gonna do. Yeah, I'll give it to you later.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and do
so
you want
exciting.
should I know. Do you want me to set it you want me to, or do you wanna show the picture now and then
Yeah,
people
I
can
can show
okay.
the do you want me to show the picture?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna do something here. I gotta present. Let me see. Okay, I have it available. Just let me know when do you want me to share it now?
If you think so, has anybody put anything in the chat?
Not yet.
And that's the name of it. Jikara. I put it in our private chat. Yeah.
Oh
And
wow. Okay.
oh, it's up. I'm like, yeah. So it's I'm gonna say this hopefully correctly. Chichen Itza. Yeah, it's a Mayan temple in Mexico.
So Cece's saying, "Wow, I kept seeing pyramids." Well, there you go. Vanita says, "I got a tropical forest, hiking mountains." Yeah, I mean this looks like a mountain.
yeah.
Tammy says, "I kept seeing rolling hills and pine trees." Yeah,
Wow.
that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Tainita says, "I was totally off." Say what you saw, Tainita, because you could be descriptors.
Yeah.
Vanita says she's been there. Oh my gosh, Vanita, that's beautiful. If you've been there, I now want
Wow.
to go there. It looks so
Me
amazing.
too. Me too.
Tainita, what were your descriptors? Real Truth says, "I saw a rectangle and blue sky with cloud." There you go. Look at that.
Wow.
You
See?
saw. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Uh,
amazing.
Tammy, what did you see? Oh, she kept yeah, so Tammy, you said you kept seeing rolling hills and pines. But if you think about it, if you describe the rolling hills, right, you can see how that could potentially be the mound, right? And
Right.
if you and the pine trees, you can, if you describe the pine trees, you would see green and you would see brown. You have green and brown colors here. So don't
Right.
don't get discouraged if you didn't see the exact image, because that's not what it's about. It's about you getting the information of the colors and the shapes and all of that.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
there are rolling hills over there. So think about I could have viewed a place in Las Vegas and where there's nothing like that, or New York City. You got the outside, you got the trees and the and if you think about when you say rolling hills, I mean there are rolling hills in Mexico, but also if you look at the structure itself, the pattern of the structure, it's it has that sort of kind of that repetitive what like wave like pattern. So
and then Tainita says, I went, so she says, I went to a house that was a double story, brown, red door, old rusty post box. But rusty, you see the rust here on the I guess on this image on the front of this. I don't know what that this would be, a god, maybe Quetzalcoatl. I'm not sure, but if you notice, like there has like that rusty look to that. So
right.
and then it kind of looks like a box, if you think about it. A box
Yeah,
with an open mouth, but
absolutely. And you think about that, right? But think about that, again, our minds want to tell us what it is. And that's why the descriptors are important in the first stages, right? Because if you were to describe that, just like you were saying, like it is old and rusty, and that's what, thousands of years old.
yeah.
So I mean, again, I could have talked about an island, but you guys are getting very specifics on that outside location. It could have been inside. So I mean, for a 10-minute process, like a 10-minute, I didn't even do all of the things that I would typically do in a remote viewing session. And you got that information. I mean,
This is
I would
powerful.
say,
I
yeah,
mean, I think it's success. So,
yeah,
Tainita, I don't want you to feel, wrong, because I want to say something. She's saying that she saw a double story, and then when you look at the actual pyramid and where it's set, it's almost like a two-story thing, right? Like the pyramid is set on another, like a wall, right? Like a
yes,
thick wall. And that, to me, I would say that's two stories, because you got to, it's like
yes.
one
There's
and
two
two. There's
right.
two levels there. So like, that's what Theon was saying earlier when we were talking about things to think about when you're starting to remote view, recognizing that you're not going to see the exact thing, but you're going to see things through your mind that are describing what is there.
Yeah,
So you're going to
yeah, and
see it in your way, right?
yeah, absolutely. And as you develop it more, then you start discerning. But I mean, you said old rusty post box. That definitely looks like, if that figurehead looks like
Like a post box.
yeah, it
Yeah.
absolutely does. And there's brown on it, so it's a little rusty. And that actually, especially the way that you just described it, and that actually would make a lot of sense if had anybody not seen what this image was like, just the shapes of it. It makes a lot of sense. And a lot of time, that's why I say focus on the shapes first. Then there's other steps where we go into it. You touch it. Is it metal? No. You'll realize as you get, more and more in depth with, like, let's say a session. Again, remember, this was only 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, you got a very distinctive, when you said old rusty post box, that I would totally be, say is a definite hit. Had you gone further, you probably would realize it wasn't a post box. So definitely feel that you were connecting intuitively to that, for sure.
And then Vanita saying, I did see us leaving the forest location and off to the next side. I was feeling Costa Rica and Latin America.
Oh,
That's
wow.
incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, That's amazing. And if you think back on your sessions, think about it was like I was flying there. I saw a forest passing through, and then I saw the pyramids. Wow. Okay. So you definitely were there. I mean, think about that. That's amazing. And for the one that got the post box, try to think back on your session. Was there anything else that you can think of that you saw and just dismissed? Because a lot of times you'll dismiss things because they come in too quickly and they leave too quickly. So you think that that's not that's nothing or something else. But you'll find that a lot of those, those hits are, relevant to whatever you're viewing. So think if you, I'm sure we can all think back into the session and piece out some things that we probably didn't add, but that are probably there. So and just remember, it's a location. I'm only showing you part of the location. Like I said before, right? They do have rolling hills there. So whoever said that was correct. I also saw orange, pink, fire numbers. I don't have my glasses, so I'm like,
I'll read it. I'll read it for you if you want. I saw orange, pink, fire numbers are straight lines, glowing, then standing, holding a card with white numbers, gold necklace with a thick chain and springs, open to show a clock with the hands moving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. With white numbers, gold necklace, oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. Because, listen, one thing is sometimes you have to be very specific in doing locations and when the location. So you could be going back to the time when this was an active site for the Mayans. So, think about like some of the things that, when you see the old clock, I mean, they were, I really like astrologers and they understood how the sun and the time changes. So I don't know that specifically a clock, but I'm almost positive they had some sort of sundial, right? And so I mean, think about the possibilities. Typically in a remote viewing session, I'm more pinpointed to a location at a specific date and time. This could have opened up a lot of possibilities. You could have seen things that happened thousands of years ago because I didn't give you a specific date. So yeah. And
Wow,
and
that's incredible.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but I just can imagine like her seeing like the hustle and bustle of that area, like how it was, like, you know what I mean? Like like being alive in the way that it used to be. Right.
Yes.
And so, yeah,
how beautiful would that have been? Yeah, it's funny is I love everything about history, especially when it has to do with pyramids around the world. And Mayans, they I don't even think they've uncovered all of their of these pyramids. I mean, they started excavating the area and just happened on these pyramids, and these like the like how they built them. I mean, it took a really knowledgeable and powerful civilization to do something like this. So I mean, what an undertaking that must have been. So yeah. I did get a double story building with steps up to the entrance. See, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you definitely got it then. Again, your mind wants to tell you something, like wants to tell you what it should be, but that's how we get out some of that information, is that we go through other stages. So we typically you see that double story building, and then you actually project yourself. You imagine that you're walking up those steps. What do the steps feel like, or what do they look like as you're walking on them? That you'll start noticing, well, these steps are are actually look very worn and gray, and and then it starts opening up further for you. So a typical remote viewing session would sometimes take 10 pages of information. So I don't necessarily do one session per each of like whatever task I have to do. I'll do maybe 3 or 4 sessions just to go back into it. So again, your first stage, you got double story building with steps to the entrance. So that makes a lot of sense. And Peggy wasn't the only one that said 2 stories. You think about the temple. The temple is like an iceberg. The Mayan temples have much more going on well under the ground. So in a sense, that is 2 stories because there is a lower level down underneath. So, it's funny that 2 people got 2 stories because that's typically what they are is, you see the beautiful outside, but it's so much more inside. They actually had intricate tunnels and things in there too. So if anybody saw tunnels and things like that, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so the one thing that I wanted to say here is that Peggy was mentioning too that she got a very different type of image. She said this was very clear. She was seeing a government type of white building and busy street with a park across the street. And I'm thinking about that too. And I'm thinking, you know what? Not only could it be that, because Vanita was mentioning below that, that it sounded like a government building maybe somewhere in Mexico City. Maybe like that could be another thing. That could be like that intuitive hit where you got, the information of like like maybe the general location of where it is as
Right.
well. So that,
Absolutely.
that's also a possibility too, right?
Yeah, and absolutely, and I think Chichen Itza is where the pharaohs would view like the what is it? I want to say the solar. I can't remember, but I'm almost positive that that is where they only the pharaohs. So let's talk about government. That was
Yeah.
government there, right? And you're like a busy street. That's absolutely was a busy area at one time, but it very well could be a government building, within that general vicinity. But the again, if you were to do another session, you would probably go in more depth with that. And in fact, you would go in more depth with that just to confirm certain things, like certain hits. Like, okay, so is it a government building? Does the building look new? Like things like that. That's the questions you'd be asking yourself in the next sessions that you do. So, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. I love this. Everyone is loving this so much. So
Me
I'm
too.
telling you, y'all, you got to go to sign up for if you enjoy this. If you enjoy this, then you definitely want to make sure that you go to evolveme.com and sign up for the remote viewing session, group sessions that Theon has. And somebody was asking about like when is the best time. I think you have like two. Can they sign up one at a time, or do they have to sign up to 2, or how does that work? Because I think they had like 2 of them. Someone was asking about that.
Oh yeah, I have an intuitive development course too, but yeah, I usually set them up as one session. So one session, and then because I want to make sure people like it, and you don't have to sign up for 5 sessions, right? So I do it every other week. I'm going to start doing it every other week. So the first session starts on the 19th. And then the following session, I don't have a calendar in front of me, will be 2 weeks later at the same time. And, you can sign up per session and or reach out to me. And if you want to do like 4 sessions or whatever, we can work that out as well.
So I'm pulling up my calendar here. And so it's going to be on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Yes.
So Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So the first one's going to be the 19th, which is going to be next Tuesday. And then after that, then instead of it would be the 3rd, October the 3rd. So
Yes.
that would be, we skipped the 26th, and then the 3rd, October the 3rd would be the next one. So to answer the question here, for Real Truth, you were asking which one you want to sign up for. The one that's on the 19th. That's the one that's the remote viewing. So the one for the 19th is the one that's remote viewing. So the 19th of this month, 19th of September. So just kind of wanted to make sure it's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And so, oh my gosh, like it's going to be amazing.
I know.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
And so yeah, Amy, for you it will be Wednesday, 7 a.m. because you're in Australia. So for those of you who are on the other side of the world, it may be the next day. But yeah, for those who are on this side, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Remember, it's Eastern. Theon is also in Florida, like me. So she's just further down, but so she's Eastern time, just so y'all know. And so Real Truth was asking that there are the three group practice that she was finding, and which one is the remote viewing circle. She was kind of confused about which one it was.
Oh, there was a 3 group. Was it? It's the. Are you talking about the intuitive development reading group? Because there's that, and then for the remote viewing, there's only one that I set so far, and that's the 19th. So if you want to do the remote viewing, then it would be the remote viewing group, and that is the 19th.
Yeah, Real Truth. You can DM Theon directly at evolveme.com. So you can.
Yes.
This is her information right here.
Absolutely.
So you can grab the information, go to Evolve Me, and sign up, and then you can DM her directly there and connect with her there if you want to.
Yeah, and I'm good about responding. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So, okay, I'm really loving this picture, but I'm gonna remove it
I know.
I'm loving it. I really do. And so anyway, we're kind of over the time here, and I want to respect, Theon's time and energy. And, I just want to thank you, again, for just being here. And I'm just so excited to have everyone join you in this beautiful experience of developing their intuition and just and connecting to you deeper, because y'all, if you already love Theon here, you're gonna love her. She's amazing. And so everyone's saying it was fun. Thank you so much. And so Amy saying thank you so much was very enlightening. Vanita saying that it was fun. Real Truth said okay, she got it. She's gonna reach out to you. And so I'm keeping this stuff up here so y'all can see it. So if you want to do it. And then Cece saying thank you so much. This was fun. So yeah, everyone had fun, which is that's your motto.
Yeah, exactly. I love I love the energy on your show. I want to say it's like I just perk up every time I'm here. But also just I just love people. I just love knowing that you guys got something from it. So I'm you could see I'm like ear to ear here. So excited.
So grateful. And then Arlene, Tammy, Cece, Tainita, they're all saying thank you. Thank you everyone for being here, for participating, for asking the amazing questions that you do. I'm just so proud of this community that we're building here, where we're just asking questions and learning together. And there's no wrong or bad question, like giving ourselves permission to just be curious. It's just such an amazing energy that we're creating here. And as I said, and I kind of wanted to kind of throw so much love to the audience, because you're the ones that create this, also that co-create this with us. And the feedback that I get from all of the people that come here is that they love you guys. They love you. And the feedback is every time they say, oh my gosh, I feel so much love. And I'm just so grateful that everyone here is just so helpful, so open. We're always helping each other. We're asking all the questions. We're encouraging each other. And so it just feels so good and nourishing. So I just want to say thank you for participating and being here. And yeah,
Absolutely.
and so
I will say, I just want to say, actually, Jikara's, all of you are very well talked about in our Evolve Me community about how amazing her audience is. So you guys definitely, I'm sure, perk Jikara up just as much as she does for you. So just wanted to add that little tidbit.
Thank you so much. I really I think it's important for them to hear that, because it's not, it's like, getting that feedback, right? And so everyone is like saying, like sending hearts, and so that's good. Everyone's saying that's awesome. So all right, so this is the end of it. So again, if you want to connect with Theon, you already know you have the information here. You can rewatch this as a replay. Share this video with someone. This we're trying to grow this community and grow the possibilities that we can eventually get so good at connecting with our intuition. And that's the new earth, y'all. And so this is part of it. This is the process. We're in the nitty-gritty of doing that and creating that together. So thank you all, and I will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.